1977 it all started, 46 years ago. Well, I guess everything comes to an end sooner or later, and today marks the end of Steve's Taxis as a company. I've been here for 30 years, and that's a lot of memories. Well, I'm in Alconbury, Cambridgeshire, and this garage behind this workshop door is where I spent the first few years of my time working for Steve's Taxis, fixing the cars. And they used to be Sierras and Mark III Granadas. Should we go in and have a look? Well, let me introduce you to Mr. Bernie.
Yeah.
He is an engineering miracle, I have to say. We'll talk about that in a minute, actually. But just show us around your garage, Bernie. It's been 30 years since I've been here, more or less. I see you've got some cars in here.
Yeah. There's that's my Jaguar, and that's an MG. What I bought. I don't use it or anything. I just bought it. I don't know why. And this one belonged to my stepdaughter. But unfortunately, she brought it up here for me to do some work on it, and she died. So her mother was her only relation, so of course I've got that to do now. We've done the cylinder head. We did, I took it to, I can't think of the name of the firm at Cambridge, and they put new inserts in the exhaust valves and new valves. So it could run on.
Yeah. Unleaded. Unleaded, yeah.
Right, yeah.
God, we're going back some time now.
Yeah. So this is. Well, I'll paint it when I do it.
But you've always had classic cars, and in fact you've done quite a few restorations here.
Oh yeah.
I think we'll have a look at your little workshop in a minute and see what you've got, because anything engineering wise, you're always up for the challenge. I mean, you got me out of the crap many times. When I broke something and gave up, you would come along and you would put it right.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I do, I remember.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking around this garage. This is where...
It was originally all one big workshop.
Yeah, you rented this to Steve from Steve's Taxis.
That's right.
And I spent about 2 years here in this garage. And it's funny coming back after all this time, but we had a lot of fun here. They were good old days.
I suppose they were really.
Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. Just out in the yard there, we do all the car cleaning, pressure washing, all the cars. We had the little office on the side of your house, which was foreign auto sales.
Now it's part of the house, but it wasn't then. It was the office. That bit what sloped.
Yeah.
There. And of course the fence weren't there. I put that there because the buggers used to keep parking up in the bloody yard for go to the pub. I come home one night because I always go around my mates on a Tuesday night. I come back round, I went 3 or 4 cars parked across the end of me.
Oh yeah.
so I thought, right, we'll kill that.
No, when I used to be here, it was just straight out onto the road.
Yeah, that's right.
But there again, there was taxis coming in this yard every 2 minutes of the day anyway, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right.
I never actually asked you, how did you ever meet Steve?
Steve's Taxis?
Yeah.
I can't remember, really.
I know it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Because he was here before I even started working here.
Yeah, he that's right, his secretary or whatever she was come down to ask me if I was interested in renting this building. And I said, well, yeah, I suppose so. I said, I don't really use it. So I put everything of mine out of this building into that building. And then they used to rent this, and well, they used to have cars down here as well, because of the taxis, obviously, because it's got a lot of taxis.
Yeah. Mind you, there wasn't that many at the time. I think there was only a handful.
No, not like it ended up.
There was a 4-poster ramp in here.
Yeah, a big one.
Yeah, and I believe it never had a centre jack either, so we had to use a trolley jack to jack the wheels up.
Yeah, it did have a centre jack.
Did
actually,
it?
Yeah, but I can't remember. I think we used to have to jack the car up a little bit to get the arms out from underneath it or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what we used to do.
I think one of the first jobs I ever done in this place was a clutch on a Mark IV Escort.
Oh, was it really? Good job. Yeah, well, we used to do anything, but we used to do quite a lot of body work. Originally, I used to do a lot accident work, you know, because there was a big airbase up there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
With, I think there was 6,000 complement of Americans up there. So we used to get a lot of work, but unfortunately they went. But still used to do a bit. We had a wrecker as well, you remember?
Yeah.
And I used to tow in off the A1, the A14 or various roads. Used to do quite a lot of that. But I did it to try and get work, but there were more wrecks than there were work. That was the trouble.
Shall we check out the other half of your workshop?
Yeah.
Because this used to be just like an empty half of the workshop. We used
That's
to
right.
fix cars in, but now you've turned it into like a machine shop.
Yeah, well, that's up the top there's the tin shop, if you like.
Can you explain what you would actually use this machine for?
Well, you put one of these in here, like that.
Right.
And then what you do is you pull this up by doing that. And it's that way.
Okay.
And the metal goes between there.
Yeah.
It's reasonably tight, but not ever so tight, but so you can push it. And what it does is, like with that roller, it just roll it that way. But when you use these rollers, they're compounded, you see. You see, then you just take that, and that will make it so that you can, well, that way, and also that way at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So, but you have to, when you use it like that, and like that, like that, like that. And then what it does is it forms a metal so that you can make shapes with it, you see. But
Yeah.
to make it, everybody thinks that all you do is have a wing roller and you roll a full wing out of it. That's not right. What you have to do is you have to make up what we call a buck first, which means it would take 6-inch measurements of the wing, what's right, and then turn them round, obviously, and put them in the buck, and then you make the bits up to fit, you see. You have to weld it and led it all together. That's how you have to make if you have to make a whole wing on it. But they're handy for straightening things, you know, and all that, on panels.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And you've got another.
Oh, that's just a fly press, but they are handy, because it's surprising what you can press from the fry press. They should really have big round weights on the top,
Yeah.
both sides, but I think they're equivalent to about 25 tons actually. I know they're a hell of a lot, but
This is all kind of stuff that like most of us never get to see anymore.
this thing is what we can use for, well, you can cut metal with it obviously if you wanted, but what you do is you put these sometimes on like that, you see, and they come out with the dip like that, because you do it to strengthen the metal sometimes in between things. We can make up what you like to fit in it, if you've got a lathe obviously, but the reason it works on electric is because I'm on my own, but I can use this to work how I want, you see. But because originally you have to, well, returns it.
Yeah.
You have a winder, but I ain't got one, so I just got an electric motor around it. Put the belt down there. That's made it so I could use it. It's handy on a bit of kit. This is an actual, I'd never seen one until I bought this place. The chap who had it before me was a tinsmith.
Right.
He came up from London, I think in the wartime he did. And it was his. But what it is this comes out. It's ever an unusual anvil. And these are all its formers. So you drop them formers in here.
Okay.
And you bend your tin over the shape of the formers. But it is a tinsmith anvil.
Oh, it's all clever stuff.
Yeah, that's what it's called. But it's handy, I think.
What's handy is you know all these things.
Well,
So whenever it came to making anything,
yeah.
you were the man for the job, Bern, weren't you?
Well, you have to be really.
You weren't a fitter. You were a proper engineer.
Well, I was originally, an engineer, just doing that. But then I started to do body work, the place I worked at the time, and of course after that I used to do mainly body work down here. That's obviously a 4 foot. That's a metal shearer, a
Yeah.
guillotine. That is a bender, but it's not the best one in the world. But it's they're both the same firm actually. And I think that's a very, very early bender because it doesn't really lift high enough. But I've always threatened to make it so that it could lift up higher. Because you have to, it bends right, but what you have to do, you have to slide them out all the time because you've got no clearance. But it wants to come right up to there, so you know it would. But,
You had a E-type jag here, didn't you?
Yeah.
That you restored.
well, I've sort of done it up, yeah. It's a heat now, it's round the other side up the carport. It wants really, well, it's not worth rebuilding, although it probably is because it's a 1962, so it's one of the first.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, a friend of mine was working at the Jaguar place because they were making some D-types, and the firm he worked for made the chassis and that for him. So he went over there quite a bit, and he actually got talking to a chap and he was telling him about it, and he said, give them first chance of it if ever I want to sell it because it's an early one. So he said, he'd paid quite a bit of money for it. So I said, oh well, scrap, but they weren't worried about that. They just want the provenance of it, don't they? That's what they really want.
Shall we see the other half of your workshop? Because it's not only just workshops you do, you do sewing as well.
Yeah, upstairs. Yeah, that's my woodwork bench. And these are my woodwork tools, obviously. That's a hand saw. There's my ordinary saw.
Oh yeah.
And that's the planer thicknesser. I can plane on it. It only does 6 inches, but it's handy for what I use. But this is handy because this lifts up quite a bit. It's got a very big stroke on it. That also comes up. You just unscrew it. Yeah. And then you can lift the whole thing goes up.
I see.
See? But it's handy on old cars, some really old cars, pre-war ones, normally got a lot of wood in them. You have to do quite a lot of shapes, whereas that can do it. Yes, handy old tool that is. They're all 3-phase motors. Yeah, that's just the other 2 saws, a planer and a saw, and that's my workbench.
I see you fixed the roof. I do seem to remember years ago, we had to put pots and pans on the floor.
Yeah, someday, yeah. Yeah, I've done that, yeah. This goes through into this one now. I'm sorry it's a bit of a mess.
Well, that's what workshops are, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I haven't got anybody to help clean me up all the while.
You have a paint shop here as well, don't you?
Yeah, just have a look. This is the one that's got a lift in it. I painted this one about a couple of years ago, but It's getting a little bit bitty here and there. That's DDMG, what I'm doing. I've painted wings, and the front wings and the rear wings and the running boards, but she's such a good match, I thought it weren't worth doing that bit, because you've got to take all that out to do it, so I thought, well, because that's been painted as well, and at the moment I'm trimming the dash and that, so it's all out.
A major project.
Oh yeah, that's a pre-war car. This is a 1934 Aero. They were made by the Hillman Company, but they only made them for 3 years. And in actual fact, they built 3 models of it, although there were some sold as chassis. What I used to do one day. But this is what it is. See, I'll roll these wings out on that roller.
Oh yeah.
Come out perfect, look. Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it, would you? What you can do.
But see, old cars have always got a load of wood in them, like this one has, as you can see there. You see, well then, when the metal comes round here, we have to rivet it. We have to pin it, tack it all the way down there with little, tacking things. And, yeah, that's 1934. Yeah. This model is what they called something toothpaste, a little toothpaste car. Don't appear to be any of them about, whether there is or not, I don't know.
It's like a little treasure trove in here.
Yeah, well, you think you've probably got something that was a little bit unique, if you would have got one, and suddenly you find out there's half a dozen of them, you know.
Well, I know, I mean, you've restored quite a number of classics over the years.
Oh yeah.
But there was one other thing you done that you built in your backyard, which was highly amusing at the time. I called it Noah's Ark, but when it was finished, it looked fantastic.
Yeah.
You literally built a yacht, an ocean-going yacht in your backyard.
Yeah, it's 36 feet, actually, length.
And that's now, you've been on the ocean in that many times.
Oh yeah. I've never been across the Atlantic, but I've been to all up the Baltic, Belgium and places like that. And all down the French, Belgium, I've been down the French, Belgium coast, right the way down to the Spanish coast. But I've never been across the Atlantic.
You know anyone else who have just bought a boat?
Now we built it of all steel, actually. Do you want to see a couple of pictures of it?
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, because they're one through its sailing. I'll have to go upstairs and get them that one.
Okay. Oh,
There
that's
she
nice.
is. Yes.
There you go. I'll try and get the reflection out of it.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's out in the North Sea somewhere. I can't remember where. I know it was a yacht. I come across what belongs to the same club as I do, and he took a photograph of it. She was on the wind there. She was going to the windward.
It looks very nice, but I like the sails as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, sounds lovely. That's what's steering it, that little vane at the back. At the moment it's tipped a bit over, but it's a wind vane, which is steering it. That's it. That one is of it. That was in the river up to Ipswich. I can't think of the river. And we'd just come under the big bridge, and a friend took a picture of it who was with his boat.
Yeah. See, it's taken a lot of knowledge and skill to build something like that. It really has. So, you know, I'm really sort of like proud to have known you, Bern.
Well, the outside, see, I had a drawing, I had a plan for the outside, and I built the hull, and I altered the top side a bit, but of course I had to build all the inside. So what we did was we shot blasted it inside first, which took us 3 days to do it. We used to shot blast it, have to clean it all up and prime it, and then we did about there first time, there the second time, that was the last bit. It took us 3 days to shot blast the inside. The outside was easy, but what I did was I shot blasted it, primed it, put about 6 coats of cold epoxy tar in it, and then I had it foam sprayed and put the wood on first onto the metal where we were going to put stanchions and that, and then it became like a wooden boat inside a steel boat because it was all plywood inside. And then I had to rebuild the interior, which was a bit of a challenge.
Oh yeah, I bet. And that's parked, well, moored down on the...
Yeah, the East Coast. It's at Walton on the Naze.
So you go down there when the weather's good?
No, at the moment it's out the border. It's actually in the firm what look after it for me, Bedwells. It's in their yard at the moment because I've had it hauled out. They've got a crane and they just lift it out.
Yeah.
It weighs about nearly 9 tons.
Oh.
And when it's got all its diesel tanks full and its water tanks full and everything. Yeah, it's a good boat though. Goes well.
Oh, it looks awesome.
Yeah. Well, you could, you could go around the world in that if you wanted, but...
See, I always remember it before it was painted.
Yeah.
But after it was painted, it really sort of like brought it out.
Oh, yeah. But you have to use quite a lot of filler in them because, well, I did, and I thought I seemed to be using a lot of filler until one day the Dutch, I think they're Dutch boats, people hire them, they're big cruisers. And one of them had brought his transom and he'd knocked a big lump of filler out about 3 inches thick. So I thought, oh well, I didn't do too bad then, because I know I had to use some filler in that. But that's how they get them to look right. Yeah. Oh, actually, this is where my machine shop is.
Oh yeah, I remember this part.
Yeah. That's,
Used to have a few lathes down
that's
here.
a lathe here, yeah. That's my lathe.
Plenty of outboard motors.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason I've got so many is because, as I say, my stepdaughter died and she had a boat and half of them were hers, I think. I can't remember where we got them all from. But yeah, that's my lathe and that's my milling machine. That's a big old thing, but it does the job. It's fought the war actually.
Yeah, I should think these machines have been around for a very long...
Oh yeah, because it had a plate on it, but my mate had the plate. Had a big plate screwed on there, back there, and it was in the wall.
Built to last.
Oh yeah, certainly. Look at the size of it. But it's handy. I mean, you can do when you've got a big lathe, you can still do a small job. But if you're or a milling machine, but when you've got a big one, you can do a big job or a small job, which is handy. I do use it. That's just an ordinary hand wheel. In actual, one of them was sold a little while ago. I don't know what happened there. On that programme where they got about cars. I can't think what it's called.
Mind you, there's quite a few car channels out there.
They sold one of them, and for some reason it made a hell of a lot of money.
We just never know, do you?
2 people wanted it, pardon?
I guess it's the case of whatever someone's prepared to pay for it.
Yeah, well, 2 of them got bidding against each other, you know, and it just went on and on and on, which was remarkable, really. Because I mean, they ain't worth much usually. So more or less scrap. People don't use them these days. All right though, because they're heavy.
You've certainly got all the gear here, that's for sure. angle grinders.
Oh yeah,
Tools.
Oh, yeah, there's all these tools down there. Yeah. If you do body work, you do need quite a lot of that sort of stuff, you know, because it's all, well, depending on what the job is, sometimes you're actually rebuilding things, you know, so you have to make them.
I always remember snapping off a few bolts on an old Transit with a water pump.
Oh yeah.
And I flung my hands up in the air, so I can't do this. Bloody hell, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And you come along and just got the snaps off bolts out, no problem.
Yeah.
You knew what you were doing.
Been at it a long time. I was, in actual fact, I was 24 when I come here.
Blimey.
Yeah. That was the only place I could get somebody to lend me, the bank to lend me money, because I was young, you know.
Yeah.
But I've been here ever since.
No, you've
But
done well.
these buildings right here, obviously, it was just some old, I think there were a row of old houses along there. And you used to have to go in, jack the front of the car up and hitch it round to get it in. So you could paint the blooming thing. It was a bit of a mismatch on place when I bought it, but it was all right. Done the job, didn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Bert, I better cut the video here. So I will say it has been certainly a pleasure to have known you all these years.
Yeah.
Not that we see each other much anymore.
Well, we see even less when you go abroad.
Well, yeah, well that's the whole point. I just wanted to capture these last few memories before I go.
Yeah.
And just document it,
Yeah.
as you do.
Yeah.
So
it's a good boat, actually.
we're 3 days from Christmas, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Not as though it makes a lot of difference. There's only me and my wife, that's all. We ain't got anybody else.
Well, anyway, thank you very much, Bern,
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
and have a good one.
Same to you, mate. Have a good Christmas.
Well, I'm in windy Huntingdon. This is Stookley Meadows Business Park, Blackstone Road. If anybody knows this area at all, it's a little business park just outside Huntingdon town. And behind that gate there's a little unit. And this is where Steve's Taxis spent 3 years, from 1995 to 1998, carrying out all our repairs in there. Very fond memories I have in there. Nice little unit. We had 2 ramps, a 4-poster and a 2-poster. The only problem with that little unit was when it got really, really cold, because of the design of the roof, I think it had just a single layer sheeting on the roof, it would condensate on the inside of the roof. So it'd end up like raining inside the garage. Happy days. But yeah, what a fantastic little unit that's been. I loved it here. It was great fun, especially in the summertime. We'd have the pressure washer going, cleaning the cars. Oh, it was great. But anyway, if anybody remembers though, before we actually moved into this unit, there was a rival taxi firm that used to rent this garage, and it was called Talbot Taxis. I can't remember what cars they had now, but they were all black cabs. But anyway, yeah, I heard, rumour has it, that the guy of Talbot Taxis gambled all his money away. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But anyway, I thought I'd come down here and just have a last look at this little unit, just for my own personal amusement. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a pity actually. It's a pity it's all shut up, because if it was open, I would have probably gone in there and asked whether I could have a last look around inside the unit. They probably wouldn't have let me anyway, not with a camera. They'd think, what the flipping hell are you up to? But yeah, it's all Merchant Steel Solutions now, so I don't know. But anyway, that is our Blackstone Road garage. Long time ago, so I thought I'd pass by anyway. I guess I better move on now to the main garage in Little Stookley. Hey! It feels an half weird coming back into this garage, even though I still come down here from time to time to do a few jobs. But I haven't worked in this garage now in, a good 2 years, nearly 3 years actually. But yeah, this garage was built, it was purpose built in 1998. Steve, the actual owner of Steve's Taxis, he had this garage built. And I believe it cost the best part of £250,000 to actually have it built. And that's going back some years now. It's like 21 years I used to work here. So yeah, many, many years. This is where we repaired the taxis, all the way from the Mark 1 Mondeos, all the way through to the Mark 5 Mondeos. You could say I've worked my way all the way through the entire Mondeo range over the years. Anyway, yeah, I guess we'll have a little walk around, just for old time's sake. The 4-poster Hoffman lift is still here. In fact, this 4-poster, along with the 2-poster Hoffman, they have been here since the garage was built. And they've done ever so well, I must say. This one's had new cables on it and load nuts. And the 4-poster's definitely had new cables put on it, but maintenance-wise, they've not had a great deal go wrong, really. But I have spent, I don't know how long, the amount of jobs I've done on these ramps is unbelievable. You can imagine after 20 odd years of working in this garage. But yeah, I would say though, 1998 in my opinion, it was the pinnacle of Steve's Taxis. It was the time when the company was at its biggest, when the most was going on. Everything was great. They had the MOT built in here. This never used to be here originally. We had this actually fitted, although it wasn't actually this kit that was in here now. It was a different rolling road and a different ramp. It used to be a Tekalamit 4-poster 5-ton ramp that was put in here, but that's all been changed now to a scissor lift, because this whole MOT bay was a new kit. We had the whole lot replaced. But yeah, I did enjoy working here. It's one hell of a nice garage. And that heater is absolutely fantastic. It burns diesel oil, but blimey, in the winter time it half blows some warm air out, and it gets like the tropics in here. Up this part here, this will be the stores. I'm going to take one last look. We've had so many clear outs over the years that I should think most of the crap's all gone, even though there are still some boxes full of manifolds and God only knows what. Loads of cases of special tools for cam belts, timing chains, you name it. We used to have this racking full of Ford filters and alternators. We had impressed stock here from TC Harrison, so that we had all the stuff here ready for the taxis. You've got a great big water tank there. The reason for that tank was we used to have a car wash, which is now another little unit. But as you can see down there, there's all the electrics for the car wash. You used to press that button to sort of like blow air and clean the water out of the pipes so they didn't freeze in the winter. Yeah. The old Johnson window films. I used to do a bit of window tinting here at one time. Still got some rolls of film up there. Used to sometimes spend all night here from 6 o'clock in the evening all the way through until dawn again, tinting car windows. Those were certainly the days. But now it's all changed. There's, one guy who still works here has been here for like donkey's years. We have a new guy, Emil. Look at his toolbox, isn't that smart? That is one nice toolbox. He's got a very nice car in the shed, a Volvo that he's doing up, which I shan't go in there. But this is his bike as well. This is a Pooch Maxi, 1979. And this is no ordinary Pooch Maxi. This one would do like 60 miles an hour. It wheelies as well. He's certainly souped it up. Very cool. Very rare bike now as well. They used to be very common years ago. It's actually really nice to see it. But yeah, it's nice in here still. That's one thing about Steve. He'll have the painter come in here once a year and go around and paint all the walls and keep it very, very clean. All the floor, that was all purpose tiled because it used to be a concrete floor. And of course, when you get the cold weather, you paint over the concrete floor with a grey paint and it all sort of like flakes up. You get a car tyre sitting on the paint and it peels it up. So in the end we had the floor tiled and it was so much easier to clean it as well. Yeah, many happy days in this place and some bad ones, but hey, that's life. The old office where we used to do all the invoicing, the customers would stand at the counter here. Oh yeah, I just had to walk around this garage for the last time. Oh dear, I guess this will probably be the last time I'll ever see it. It's strange, you know. There's one particular memory I have in this place, which is a bit morbid, but I was stood by that two-poster ramp doing something to a wheel on one of the taxis when I heard over the radio, and this was in 2001 on 9/11, we heard that a plane had just flown into the World Trade Center. And I always remember the exact spot I was standing. Anyway, next stop, sales garage. Well, this is where I've been for the last nearly 3 years now. It's quite a nice little unit, I must say. Hello, Martin.
Hello.
Working today?
Yeah.
I've just come in here to...
Unfortunately, day before Christmas Eve.
Yep, working till the last day.
Oh yes. It's joys.
I just thought I'd come in here and have a last little walk around on video. I'm hanging up my spanners.
Yeah. You sorely missed.
Yeah, I'll definitely miss it as well. I know I will. That's why I'm doing this. It's all memories. It's been nearly 3 years in this little unit now. So, very good ramps though. I must, these ramps are definitely better than the other garage.
They are.
They're much wider,
Yeah.
more robust. Although I did point out the ramps down there, they've never really been much of a problem. But it's been quite nice working up here. But as I said to Steve, I'm getting to the age now where I've just had enough. I'm feeling the pain. I've actually never showed my toolbox. Probably the reason for that is because it's not much of a toolbox. But there she is. I bought this in 3 stages: top box, middle and then roll cab. They're all snap-on, and these toolboxes are like really old now. There's a lot of tools in there. I guess it's a kind of a ramshackle mess, but I mean, I know exactly where everything goes and what every tool is for. That actual top box used to go in the back of my Mark III Ford Cortina, and I used to drive around back in the early 90s, where we used to go out every night fixing the Steve's Taxis Sierras by the roadside, which was quite interesting. I should be leaving my toolbox behind here, so I'm donating it to the garage. This was the original part of this garage up here, when it was a Beetle garage. They used to do Volkswagen Beetles here, but they were squatted until Steve's brother kicked them off the site. And then he had this bit done out into a tyre bay, and the actual new part of the garage was actually built on. So I think now we should pop round and see Mr. Costa, because this is the guy who, him and his wife, do all the car cleaning, and they get everything sorted out. They do a lot of the tyres. They make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to pop round and see him now. I should have brought a filter with this camera, but I didn't, so it's a bit bright out here. Here we are. This actual shed unit, it used to be all open and the wind would blow in there, but Steve's had all this built now, so it keeps all the wind off, so you can get the cars all cleaned in here in comfort with heating as well. Hello Costa, where are you?
Hello.
Here he is. Where's Maria today?
Today is I leave the home.
She's ill. So
Oh,
No.
well, that's not very good, is it? We
No.
hope she gets better soon.
yeah.
So I just want to say it's been a pleasure to have known you all these years. How long have you been here now?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Blimey. I tell you what, you'll be here as long as me if you're not careful. But you keep all the cars clean, you do all the tyres, you do all the jobs around that need doing, fixing fences, anything really, don't you?
Yeah,
Cutting the grass,
Yeah.
keeping all the area secure and up, kept well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's been great knowing you, Costa, so I'm going to shake your hand.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll be doing videos over in the Philippines anyway. So no doubt I'll see you again one day. I'm coming back for a visit, no doubt,
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point. So, but anyway, thank you for all the time you've been here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
This is going to go on YouTube, so you'll see yourself.
Yeah.
I've just done the whole rounds of Steve's taxis from 1993 up until now. So I've been to all the garages that Steve has actually hired or worked at. So I thought it'd be a little bit interesting. And I've done this all sort of like for my own personal interest.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a great day.
You too, mate.
Right, see you soon.
Happy Christmas.
Oh yeah, it's 2 days to Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's come up that quick, I've even forgotten it's Christmas now.
Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas to you too.
You too.
You too, mate.
Have a good one.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Hello everybody. You know, all the years I've been making videos, a lot of you out there have said to me, are you the boss? Today I can lay that to rest. I'm finally joined by the owner of Steve's Taxis, Mr. Steve himself. Finally, after 30 years, we've got him on bloody camera. So how are you doing, Steve?
Not so bad, not so bad. Yeah, this is very rare, this.
Yeah, and because I'm leaving, we're going to do this video. I just want to reflect over the last, for you it's 47 years nearly.
Yeah, yeah.
For me it's 30 years I've been here. I started in around about 1993, but you started in 1977.
Yeah.
And the big question is, what some people might want to know is, how did it all begin?
Well, I was in the racing trade, and in 1977 the racing was sort of February to October, so there was no work from October to February, so I used to buy and sell cars. And like a fool, I got married in September before, and the wife said to me, this is not going to work because there's not enough money coming in, you're going to have to do something else. So I walked around Sawtry, and Sawtry was the only place that didn't have a taxi business. So I started a taxi business in 1977, and that's how it started.
And your first car, I've actually got a picture of it, I'll put the picture up later, but you've got, your very first car was a Mark III Cortina, I believe?
Yeah, it was January 9th, and it was snowing, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and my first fare was 50p, 20 Cheshire Road, Sawtry.
50p for a taxi fare. That's unheard of now.
Yeah, £12 the first week.
And of course, from there, you moved on a little bit. You then owned a garage in Woodwork Village, which is
No,
not far.
Sawtry was my first
Oh,
garage.
Sawtry.
Sawtry Village Garage. Then I sold that.
Right.
Then I bought Woodwalton Garage, and there used to be a big RAF base there, RAF Upwood, and we used to get so much work from there, it was unbelievable. But RAF Upwood closed, so obviously the garage wasn't worth having, so I knocked it down and built 2 houses on it.
Yeah, they were them chalet style houses.
Yeah, that's it. And then I went to Alchemy Village, and that's when we met.
Yeah. My next door neighbour was doing a bit of driving for Steve, and he mentioned to me that Steve's mechanic at the time, who was working in Oldcombe Village at Burney's, was leaving. Well, I think one day he just up and left for whatever reason. He had personal problems. And my next door neighbour said to me, "Oh, you're a mechanic." I was working at Marshall's at the time, and he said, "Would you fancy helping out in the evening?" Because his car was playing up, so I fixed his car. And so I ended up doing breakdowns in the evenings. I had a little handheld two-way radio. This was before all the GPS and all this digital rubbish. It was all analogue back then. So we had two-way radios to communicate with the taxis and the office and everything.
Yeah.
I would get called on the radio. There's a car broken down. These are all Ford Sierras, by the way, in Granadas. I'd get called and I'd go out. Nearly every night we'd go out and we'd unblock a carburettor or something like that, or change a tyre or an alternator. But they were easy to fix back then. But anyway, so it's like 1993 time that I started working in Oldcombe Village Review in that garage in Oldcombe.
Yeah, at Burney's.
Yep.
At Burney Lewis's, yeah.
Yep.
That was a good time.
We spent 2 years there.
And we started renting them there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Allegros.
Oh, I think the Austin Allegros were before my time.
Yeah, they started at Woodwork and finished at Alconbury, and then we went on to Fiestas, didn't we?
Yeah, and then Mark III and Mark IV Escorts.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
The one that sticks in my mind was when I went to tow a taxi off the A1 and the tow bar came clean off the back of the Escort. It was that rotten. But back in the 90s, I'm kind of stuck in the 90s because they were such good days. They were the days when I come to work here, I didn't want to go home in the evening, I was enjoying it that much. It was such a lot of fun, and everything we were doing back then, it was interesting. Every day was a great big adventure, new experience. It's not like that anymore, but I've always got them days to remember. And I'm so glad I worked here over the years. But after Wood Walton Garage, you moved on to, if I get back more to the taxi side of things,
Yeah,
you had your main taxi office in Huntingdon High Street.
yeah.
That was the main big taxi office.
No, I had Alconbury base first.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you had a taxi office in Oldcombe base.
yeah.
What possessed you to actually get the actual office on the Oldcombe base?
Well, what happened was there used to be a guy called the godfather of taxiing called Johnny Gray, and he had lots of problems with his drivers, and I was running my taxi business in Sawtry, and I had a couple of drivers then after a couple of years, and I was running his daughters to the Wimpy Bar. It was a contract that I had, and he was having lots of problems with his drivers, so he asked me could I help him. So I sort of helped him along, and I sort of got on base, and all his drivers in the bars getting drunk. So I sort of moved them on and told them that they're not allowed to do that. And anyway, cut the story short, Johnny was having a divorce, and he met this woman for the first time after 3 years of his divorce. He was in his London cab, he had a heart attack and died. And I took the base over, basically, and then I got a 5-year contract with them. And then it went on from there.
Yeah. I remember the days on Oldcombe base, because maybe some of you probably don't even know this, but I used to drive a taxi as well, and
Yeah.
Steve used to drive a taxi. You'd normally come out on a Friday and Saturday night,
Yeah.
just when the pubs were kicking out, and you'd be running around for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I used to drive a taxi, and Oldcombe base was always a favourite, because the girl who used to operate there, do you remember Donna Owen?
Yeah.
This was one of your very first drivers was Doreen,
Yeah.
Mary and Donna.
Yeah.
Donna used to operate, she was a great laugh. We had so many good times up on that Oldcombe base. But from there, you obviously had your main office in Huntingdon, Oldcombe, and then you had a little office in St Ives Town,
Yeah.
which I guess that was mainly for the weekends, for when the pubs
Yeah.
and clubs kicked out.
Yeah. The Quadrant.
But what some of you might not realise was how big this company actually quite got, I guess, to the late 1990s.
Yeah.
You moved into Ramsey, and you also moved into March.
St Neots as well.
Yep, St Neots as well.
It was basically Alconbury base, Huntingdon. We had the shack where the garage is, the MOT garage, because we come off the base. Don't you remember that?
That was before me, I think.
Yeah.
Just to clarify here, the actual MOT garage where I used to do all the videos, before that garage was built, there used to be a little shack in the corner and used to operate from there.
Yeah, in 1985 I come off the base
Yeah.
and went to that shack, and then I had the shack near Oakenbury Base, then I had Huntingdon, then I had St Ives, then I had Ramsey, then I had St Ives, and then I had March. So it was quite hard running around all the taxi stands.
Yeah, so you can imagine, I mean, these were the days when the cars were still predominantly Ford Sierras and Mark III Granada's.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of them by the end, by the time you replaced them with the Mondeos,
Yeah.
but they were easy to fix, generally speaking. If an engine blew up, it was like an afternoon's job and it had another engine in it. A clutch went, they were so easy to change. We were able to keep them cars on the go all the time. They went wrong a lot, but they were easy to fix very quickly. So yeah, this company was actually quite big, and it covered a big old area when you think about it.
Yeah, we got up to about, well in the end we got up to about 105 cars, didn't we, in the end?
Yeah, over 100 cars, and that was just company cars, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You still had, I don't know how many owner drivers you had.
I had about 10. Yeah, because I had Martin Balls, he was been with me for 30 odd years, Martin, and yeah, we had about 10 it was in the end, owner drivers. We had some buses, of course.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't end this video without mentioning the buses. We used to have some coaches here.
Yeah.
One of them was, who sticks in my mind, which started to break in the middle, was a Leyland Swift. We had two Merc 709 diesels, a Toyota Caetano, I think, and some minibuses as well. Another Toyota Mazda that the camshaft seized up on them. But we had quite a few buses, and they were interesting. We had these four. You bought these 4 ramp posts. They were mobile ramp posts. You connected them all up, and you could lift the coach up outside. It was really, really useful to use them when we wanted to get something really big in the air.
Yeah, it was good. Those were the good days.
Yeah, yeah. We used to have an awful lot of fun because every day was building something. It was an adventure. Today it's a bit mundane and every day morphs into the next. It's not the fun that it used to be, but we've got all them good memories anyway, and we all worked together. And it was the people we worked with. And I'm really happy and glad that I worked with Steve all these years. We've had our moments, but I mean, overall, it's been fantastic, and I'm so glad I've worked here. But I guess to summarise now, in the last few years, just before COVID, you wanted to sell off the taxis.
Yeah.
Can you just explain the reasons why you actually wanted to get rid of the taxi business?
Well, obviously age was part of it, you know. It's just sort of, I really never had anybody to follow on the taxis really, because my daughters weren't that interested, apart from my older daughter, but she's not very well, so I knew she wouldn't be able to handle it properly, but I knew she'd be able to cope with the garages.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to keep the 2 garages and car sales and the rental company, but the taxis, it was just so much grief with the council. The council was always changing the rules and the regulations. The insurances was going sky high. The drivers weren't like the drivers were years ago. You know, it just totally changed. And the cars were just getting more and more expensive.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't move the fares up to pay the costs really. And I just wanted an easier life, I suppose. Really, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back, because there was only a limited number of taxis, you used to know every single driver personally.
Yeah.
It was like a big family. But
Yeah.
I guess as time's moved on, they've got more and more and more cars. A lot of the drivers have come from Europe and wherever, and you don't really get to know them as you did with the original people who used to work here.
It's not really a personal service now.
No.
It was so family orientated.
Yeah.
It was just, it was nice. but now it's just a task all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of understand when you've got quite a big taxi firm, you've got to be on it 24/7, and not to say that you haven't, because you have put your life and soul into this business.
Yeah,
I mean, no matter what's gone wrong around you, you've done everything you possibly can to try and make it work. That's why all these years you've kept this business going. When money got tight, when it wasn't making a profit, you would find the money from somewhere to put into the company to keep it going,
yeah.
keep everyone. And when you think about all the people that you've employed over the years, I dread to think how many thousands, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So I mean, and a lot of people would have come to this job just as a stopgap between jobs, but there was always a job for them. If they had a taxi licence, yeah, you've got a job.
Yeah.
And we've seen so many people come and go over the years, but that's the way it is in taxiing, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's families, isn't it? Doreen started, then Mary started, then Angie started, then Donna started. It was all one family. It just got handed down, didn't it, really?
Yeah.
Which is really good. And Angie's still working for the taxi business. Mary's moved on, and obviously Donna died, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and Doreen's passed away. It's life, isn't it? It's how it goes.
But it's over now. That the taxis have been sold. You've still got your car sales
Yeah.
and
yeah.
your rentals, which are doing pretty well. Obviously, we've got the Americans on RF Oakenbury, and Americans like automatic cars. So nearly all of your rentals are automatics, and
Yeah.
quite often, I'd say the majority of them are hired out. So as long as the Americans are staying around, the rentals do pretty well. Obviously, after COVID, well, during and after COVID, car sales has gone a bit slow, but people are coming on and buying cars from time to time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure once you get the yard filled up with a few more, it's hard to buy cars, obviously, at the moment, as you know. It's hard to get a good deal and sell a car for a higher profit. But you're doing your best what you can find.
Yeah. Losing me top mechanic home. He'll be back home.
He's got a book running on me that I'll be back, taking bets on how long I'll be back for. So, but whatever, as a personal note, I have to say, all the years I've known Steve, he has been a very, very good friend to me, like my best friend. Whenever I've needed help, like when I found myself out of a relationship and homeless, he put me up when nobody else was around to help me. And a lot of people will vouch for this who know Steve. When they've needed help, financially or whatever, he's always been there for them, haven't you?
Yeah, there's quite a few people I've put up.
So I just want to say thank you very much for all these years, Steve. It's actually been a pleasure. I will never lose contact with you.
No, I won't let you.
I've got you on WhatsApp, so when I'm sat over in the Philippines on my hammock drinking my JD, I can get my phone out and give you a call. And I'll be calling Monica and anyone else here, and Mark and everyone. So we won't sort of like lose touch. It's not going to happen.
Well, thank you for 35 years.
Yeah, I know it's been great. It's been a pleasure. I just want to shake your hand.
Thanks a lot.
So everybody, well, I just wanted to sort of like say all this on camera, to have Steve on this film for the first time.
And Alan's the only person that's got me on camera.
Yeah, well, the only time you've actually been on camera in the past is when you've sort of like mistakenly walked across the scene when I was doing something.
And the National Health, of course, when we give the National Health that money.
Yeah, we'll point that out as well. You've covered a lot of charities in the past.
Yeah.
Especially the big one was the National Health Service during COVID. You donated a certain amount to
10p every fair.
Yeah. So I mean, the amount of charities you've donated money to is quite something.
And blind dogs. I'll do it like that.
Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. You've met Mr. Steve, the owner of Steve's Taxis. Well, the former Steve's Taxis now, but it's still Steve's Car Sales. And if you're interested in buying a second-hand used car or renting a car if you need to rent one,
Or MOTing.
yeah, because that's true. Your other garage, which you had built in '98, that's still up and running. You own the land, you own the garage, the same as you own the land and the garage and everything here.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've got really no debts
No,
apart
it's
from
all
the
fine.
council taxes, I guess.
Yeah.
So
That's
you've
not
got MOTs down there, workshop repairs down there, and then obviously up here we cover all the rentals and the car sale side of things, and whatever may come up. So well, after 47 years we say goodbye to the taxis, but
yeah,
new beginnings.
that's it. A new life. Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching everybody. See you in the next one. Come here, Bonnie.
Come here. Uh-oh.
I'm going to bloody well miss you, you know.
Yep, it's mutual.
Do you know something? How long have you been here now?
Over 9 years. Yeah.
9 years Monica's worked here. In actual fact, the first year I never even spoke to her.
That's true.
I think we were working in separate places anyway. But it was only after sort of like the first year I was doing a video. No, it was later on, wasn't it? It must have been a few years later on.
Yeah.
I started doing a few videos, and I wanted to do a specific video. And I said to Monica, can you sort of like help me out as playing a role in this video? And she goes, yeah, I'll let you know. Later on when I went into the office, she'd gone home early, so I thought, oh well, not to worry. Some people don't like to be in front of cameras, you know. But then a few weeks later, I was filming inside the garage. This was down our MOT garage, and you started doing some star jumps in front of the camera, thinking it was on. I said, the camera's not even on, you know. But I said, go and bounce that taxi on the corner because it had like creaking suspension, and I said, yeah, and you did it, and I filmed it because you had these really tight jeans on and all that, and I thought, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to capitalise on the situation. And since that moment, you've been my video buddy.
Yeah,
And
we've been rolling ever since.
Yeah, I've been so proud to have you in all my videos, and we've had a blast.
It was a good fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the highlight of being here.
yeah. All the days, you know, when you come to work every day and it's the same routine. When we get the chance to have that little bit of time where we can just make a video, have a little bit of a fun in the office like we used to do, it made all the difference to the day. Broke up the monotony of it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I did say, you know, one day it would all come to an end, and today is that day, unfortunately. But we're going to keep in contact with each other. So we've got WhatsApp and all that, and hoping later on at some point, me and Monica could get on a live stream together. Even if we're in separate countries, we can still send a link and both be on the live stream and talk about what's going on in the world, and you know. So everything's still going to be great, and I'm going to be coming back for visits anyway. Providing I stay in the Philippines, I'll see how it works anyway.
You
New
never
life and
know,
all that.
maybe we'll visit you in the Philippines.
Yeah, come for a holiday. I'll buy you a ticket. Just come over.
So yeah, no, it's been a good fun.
Yeah, it's been great. So we just wanted to finish off this video, me and Monica together. So it's 2 days from Christmas.
It is, yeah, it's
Yeah.
flying by.
Yeah,
Less than a month for you.
it certainly is. It's all going to be different soon.
Yeah.
I shall miss this place, and I shall, more than anything, I shall miss the people I've worked with. But anyway, Monica, it's been an absolute blast.
It has. I'm
Been
glad we got to do that.
Yeah, been so happy to know you. You're like my best friend, really.
Aww,
So-
no.
Anyway, thank you everybody for watching the video. There will be more to come in the future. It's just that as this part of Steve's Taxis for me has now come to an end at the moment. Whether I'll ever come back is questionable. I do not know at the minute. I'm going to start a new life in the Philippines. So we're going to see how it runs and hope it works out.
I'm sure you'll love it.
Yeah. So I thought I'd do this, give a little bit of the history of Steve's Taxis. Didn't want to let it just disappear without saying a word and it just fades into non-existence. I wanted to document it a little bit. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I will change my YouTube banner to something else obviously. But until then, take care out there. Have a fantastic Christmas everybody. And we will definitely be seeing you in the new year. See ya.